See, there's something powerful about silence. Not everybody gets that. Most people, the second they feel disrespected, they want to react right away. They want to defend themselves, prove a point, make sure everybody knows that they're not the one to mess with. But here's the thing, sometimes the strongest response, the one that takes the most courage, is the one where you don't say a word. Staying quiet during disrespect. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about knowing when your words would only add fuel to a fire that you don't need to burn. There's wisdom in restraint, and there's strength in silence. Now, let me tell you, I know it isn't easy. When someone disrespects you, everything in you wants to react. You feel that fire, that anger bubbling up, and you want to show them that you're not the one to mess with. But you've got to ask yourself, what does reacting accomplish? Are you really proving something, or are you just feeding into their agenda? A lot of times people disrespect you because they want a reaction. They want to pull you down to their level. They want to see you rattle, see you break character. So when you stay silent, when you stay calm, you're denying them the satisfaction of that reaction. You're taking control, and you're keeping your power where it belongs with you. Think about it this way, silence is a kind of strength, and it's one that a lot of people underestimate. Anybody can raise their voice, argue back, or let anger take over, but it takes a certain kind of person to hold their ground without saying a word. It takes self-respect, it takes discipline, and most importantly, it takes a clear understanding of your own worth. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you don't need to argue with people who can't see it. Their disrespect doesn't take away from your value. It doesn't change who you are. All it does is show you who they are. And that's all the information you need. Now, I'm not saying that you should let people treat you any kind of way, not at all. Boundaries are important, and sometimes you have to address certain things to protect yourself. But there's a difference between addressing disrespect and feeding into it. When you choose silence, you're choosing to rise above to keep your peace. You're saying, I'm not going to let this person or this situation control my emotions, and that's powerful. Because let me tell you something, the person who can control their emotions, the person who doesn't let every little thing get to them, that's the person who's truly strong. Silence also makes people wonder. When you don't respond, when you don't react, you leave them thinking, what are they thinking? What are they going to do? And that's when you're holding all the power. That's when you're in control. People who disrespect you expect you to get riled up. They expect you to react. But when you stay calm, when you stay quiet, you're doing the unexpected. You're showing them that you're not moved by their words, that their opinion doesn't hold weight in your world. And that right there is a position of strength. Silence can speak louder than any words. See, when you react, you're giving that other person power over your emotions. You're letting them dictate your state of mind. But when you're silent, you're telling them, I don't need to explain myself to you. I know who I am. It's a statement, and it's one that doesn't require words. Silence isn't a weakness, it's a choice. It's choosing to conserve your energy, to not waste it on things or people who don't deserve it. When you know your worth, you understand that not every comment, not every criticism deserves a response. You're not here to explain yourself to everyone, especially not to those who have already made up their minds. We live in a world where people think louder is better. They think that raising their voice or responding with aggression somehow proves a point, that it makes them look strong. But true strength, real strength, is in restraint. It's in knowing that you don't have to meet disrespect with disrespect. You don't have to let others dictate your response. You have the power to choose. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can choose is silence. There's a phrase that says, lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. That's the kind of mentality I'm talking about. Lions don't waste time worrying about what every little creature in the jungle thinks. They know who they are, they know their power, and they don't need anyone else's validation to confirm it. And that's how you have to carry yourself in this life. You have to know your worth so deeply, so completely, that other people's opinions don't shake you. Their disrespect doesn't have the power to unsettle you, because you're rooted in something stronger than their words. And here's the truth: silence can sometimes teach people more than words ever could. When you don't react, when you don't give them the satisfaction of a response, they're left with nothing but their own actions. They're forced to look at themselves because you haven't given them anything to deflect to. Silence is a mirror. And in that silence, they're often left to confront the truth of their own behavior. That can be a powerful lesson, one that's often more impactful than any argument or comeback could ever be. Silence is also about self-control, and self-control is a sign of maturity. It's a sign that you're not easily swayed, that you're steady and grounded in who you are. It's a statement that says, I'm not going to let this moment, this person, this situation dictate how I feel or how I act. And that kind of control, that kind of strength is rare. Not everyone has it, and not everyone understands it. But those who do, those who can stay silent in the face of disrespect, they're the ones who truly understand what it means to be strong. Think about it. If you react to every little thing, if you let every insult or negative comment pull you out of character, then who's really in control? Are you in control of yourself? Or are you letting other people control you? Silence is a way of keeping that control, of saying, I decide how I feel. I decide how I act. And that's something nobody can take away from you. Silence doesn't mean that you're ignoring what happened. It doesn't mean you're condoning it either. Silence just means that you're choosing a different path. You're choosing to keep your peace instead of letting someone else disrupt it. You're choosing to keep your dignity instead of letting someone else pull you down to their level. And that's not easy. It takes strength to stay silent. It takes strength to not react. But the rewards are worth it. Because when you hold on to that silence, when you keep your calm, you're the one who walks away with your power intact. The world is full of people who are quick to speak, quick to react. But the ones who are truly wise, the ones who are truly strong, they know the power of patience, the power of silence. They know that sometimes the best answer is no answer at all. They understand that silence isn't empty, it's full of intention, full of strength. And that's a lesson a lot of people don't understand. When you stay silent, you're telling yourself in the world that your peace is more important than their opinion. You're choosing to put your own well-being first, to protect your own energy. And that's not selfish, that's necessary. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself, with your own peace of mind. You have to be able to look in the mirror and feel good about who you are. And if that means choosing silence over reaction, if that means walking away instead of engaging, then that's exactly what you need to do. It's easy to think that silence means giving up, that it means you're backing down. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Silence isn't about giving up, it's about standing firm. It's about saying, I refuse to let this get to me. I refuse to let this control me. And that's a kind of strength that only comes from within. It's a strength that comes from self-respect, from self-love. When you love yourself enough, when you respect yourself enough, you don't need to defend yourself to everyone who disrespects you. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone because you already know who you are, and that's all that matters. At the end of the day, your peace is your responsibility. Your happiness, your sense of self-worth, your confidence, these are things that only you can protect. And sometimes protecting them means choosing silence over reaction. It means choosing peace over proving a point. It means walking away instead of staying and fighting a battle that doesn't serve you. So remember this, silence is strength. It's the strength to stay calm, to stay centered, to stay true to who you are no matter what. It's the strength to hold your ground, to keep your dignity, and to not let anyone or anything take that away from you. And that kind of strength, that's rare. That's powerful. That's something no one can take from you. Sometimes the people who disrespect you don't even deserve a reaction. They haven't earned your words. They haven't earned your energy. If they're throwing stones, don't stoop down to pick them up. Keep walking. Let them see that you're too focused on your journey, too busy with your own purpose to waste time on their negativity. Because at the end of the day, the way someone treats you says everything about them and nothing about you. Their disrespect is a reflection of their character, not of your worth. Now, let's talk about dignity for a second. Dignity isn't something you have to prove. Dignity isn't about standing there puffing out your chest and shouting back at someone who disrespects you. Dignity is quiet. It's about knowing who you are, carrying yourself with grace, and not letting anyone shake you from that place. When you can stand tall, even in the face of disrespect, when you can keep your peace, that's true dignity. That's strength of character. And when you have that kind of dignity, it doesn't matter what anyone says to you or about you, because you know the truth about yourself. You know your worth. You know what you bring to the table. And that's something nobody can take away. I'm not saying that staying quiet is easy. Oh no, it's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do, because staying quiet means you have to swallow your pride sometimes. It means you have to hold back that fire inside of you that wants to jump out and defend yourself. But here's the truth. Sometimes the battle isn't worth it. Sometimes responding doesn't give you power, it gives away your power. It shows that they got to you. But when you stay calm, when you stay composed, you're saying, I'm bigger than this moment. I'm better than this negativity. People who throw stones at you are often coming from a place of their own insecurities. They're projecting their own issues, their own unhappiness onto you, trying to drag you down to where they are. Misery loves company, as the saying goes. And when they see you standing tall, walking with purpose, moving forward in life, it stirs something in them. They see what they don't have, and instead of working to change themselves, they try to tear down what you have. That's their problem, not yours. Let them wrestle with their own insecurities. It's not your job to carry that burden for them. You're on your own path with your own mission. And if you let every negative word or action throw you off course, you'll never get where you're supposed to be. Keeping your dignity intact also means understanding the power of silence. Silence isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. It's a sign that you understand not every situation needs your energy. Not every person deserves a response. Silence lets people know that you're not here to be pulled down into their mess. You've got a purpose, and you're not about to let anyone disrupt it. When you choose to stay silent in the face of disrespect, you're telling the world that your peace, your focus, and your purpose are more important than any momentary satisfaction of clapping back. And here's something else to think about when you're silent. You're giving yourself time to respond from a place of strength, not a place of emotion. when we react instantly, when we let our emotions dictate our response, we're often not thinking clearly. We're acting from a place of hurt, of anger, and that's when we make mistakes. That's when we say things we can't take back, things that end up doing more damage to us than to the person who disrespected us in the first place. But when you choose silence, you give yourself that space, that time to reflect, to decide how you want to handle the situation in a way that aligns with who you are. Choosing silence also means recognizing that not every fight is yours to fight. Some people are on their own journey, their own struggle, and their actions toward you are simply a reflection of where they are in their life. They might be dealing with things you know nothing about. They might be acting out of pain, out of fear, out of their own disappointments. And while that doesn't excuse their behavior, it does give you a reason not to take it personally. Their disrespect, their negative words aren't about you. They're about them. And when you understand that, it becomes easier to let it go, to rise above, and to move on with your head held high. It takes real strength to keep moving forward, to keep your focus on your own journey when people are trying to bring you down. It takes discipline to not let every little thing throw you off course. And that discipline, that strength is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Because the truth is, there will always be people who try to drag you down. There will always be people who want to see you fail. But if you let them get to you, if you let their words affect you, then you're giving them control over your life. And that's not what you're here for. You're here to live your life on your terms, to fulfill your purpose, to be the best version of yourself. When you understand that, when you fully embrace that mindset, you'll see that their disrespect doesn't deserve your energy. You'll see that the best response is to keep moving forward, to keep focusing on your journey, and to let your success speak for itself. Because at the end of the day, the best revenge is not in words, it's in actions. It's in living your life so fully, so confidently that their negativity has no place in it. Now, does that mean you ignore everything? No, of course not. There are times when you have to stand up for yourself, when you have to set boundaries and make it clear that certain behavior isn't acceptable. But there's a difference between standing up for yourself and getting drawn into someone else's drama. When you stand up for yourself, you do it with calm, with confidence, with dignity. You're not reacting out of anger or hurt. You're simply letting them know where you stand, and then you move on. You don't dwell on it. You don't let it consume you. You address it, you set your boundary, and you keep walking. That's the power of dignity. That's the power of knowing who you are, being secure in yourself. When you have that, no one's disrespect can shake you. No one's negativity can bring you down. You're rooted in something deeper, something stronger, and that's what keeps you going. That's what gives you the strength to keep your silence when everyone else would be quick to react. So remember this, sometimes the best response is no response. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to keep moving forward, to keep focusing on your journey, and to let your actions speak louder than any words ever could. Because at the end of the day, actions will always speak louder than words. And when you live with dignity, with grace, with purpose, that's something people notice. That's something people respect, even if they don't always show it. Your journey is your own. Your purpose is your own. And the more you focus on that, the less other people's negativity will matter to you. They might try to distract you, to bring you down, to make you question yourself. But when you know who you are, when you know what you're here to do, none of that will faze you. You'll be too busy living your life, pursuing your dreams, and becoming the person you're meant to be. So don't let anyone's disrespect get in the way of that. Don't let anyone's negativity pull you off course. Stay focused, stay grounded, and keep moving forward, because at the end of the day, the only opinion that truly matters is your own. The only validation you need is from yourself. And when you live with that kind of confidence, that kind of dignity, you'll find that the right people, the people who truly respect you, will be drawn to you. And those who don't, they'll fade into the background because they're not worth your time, your energy, or your peace. So keep walking. Keep focusing on your journey. Let your actions speak for themselves. And let your silence, your dignity be the loudest statement of all. Because that's real strength. That's real power. And that's the kind of person you were meant to be. And there's something else to consider, the bigger picture. See, people who disrespect you are usually not worth your time. They're distractions, trying to pull you away from your goals, from your purpose. If you let them pull you into a back and forth, if you let them pull you down into an argument, then they've succeeded in taking you off your path. But when you stay focused, when you don't let that disrespect affect you, you're showing that you're committed to what matters. You're saying, I've got more important things to focus on. There's power in that focus. When you're able to rise above petty insults or disrespect, it shows that your mind, your spirit is anchored in something much bigger than the noise around you. It's like walking on a road to a destination that only you can see. On that road, there are people throwing stones, trying to make you stumble. But when you're focused, when you keep your eyes on your purpose, you barely notice those stones. You might see them, feel them, but they don't slow you down. You know where you're going, and nothing's going to pull you off track. I remember hearing a quote that stuck with me: lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. Think about that. Lions don't worry about what every little animal in the jungle thinks of them. They don't waste energy on it. They know who they are. They know their power, their purpose. And that's the kind of mindset you have to carry. You've got to know who you are so well that the disrespect of others doesn't shake you, doesn't even faze you. That's what silence does. It keeps you steady. It keeps you grounded. Silence allows you to stand tall in who you are, and sometimes standing tall means standing quiet. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. When you stay quiet, you also give yourself the chance to see things clearly. Emotions can cloud your judgment. They can make you say things you don't mean, things you might regret. But when you're silent, you have a moment to breathe, a moment to see the situation for what it really is. You get to decide how to respond, if at all, and from a place of calm, not from a place of anger or frustration. Silence lets you keep your clarity, your peace, your self-control. And let me tell you, clarity is a rare thing. When you're clear-headed, you can make better decisions. You can see the situation for what it truly is and not what your emotions might want it to be. And here's the thing about silence: it has a way of humbling people. When someone's trying to get a reaction out of you and you don't give it to them, it makes them pause. It makes them wonder. They start questioning themselves. And in that silence, in that space where they're waiting for a reaction that never comes, they never own issues. They're left facing themselves. Sometimes that silence is the mirror. They need to see their own actions clearly. Sometimes your lack of response makes them realize they were out of line. And that's a lesson that words often can't teach. Choosing silence doesn't mean you're ignoring everything around you. It doesn't mean you don't feel the sting of disrespect. You're human. Words can hurt. Disrespect can cut deep. But when you choose not to react, you're making a decision that your peace is more valuable than your pride. You're saying, I refuse to let this moment of negativity change who I am. And that's strength. That's power. Real power isn't in how loud you can get. It's in how well you can hold your ground without losing yourself in the process. Think about the bigger picture. Life's too short to waste on battles that don't matter. There's always going to be someone who doesn't see your worth, someone who doesn't respect you. But that's their loss, not yours. You have a journey, a purpose. And if you let every instance of disrespect throw you off, you'll never get where you're meant to be. Your time, your energy, they're valuable. Don't hand them over to people who haven't earned it. Don't let them take up space in your mind and your heart. Your silence is a way of reclaiming that space, of keeping it free for what really matters. And in that silence, you find strength. You find clarity. You find peace. You remind yourself of who you are and what you're here to do. People who try to tear you down, they're just passing through. But you're here for a reason. You're here to live a life of meaning, of purpose. And that purpose is bigger than any moment of disrespect, bigger than any person's opinion of you. When you keep that perspective, when you remember the bigger picture, those moments of disrespect start to lose their power. You're not here to prove yourself to anyone. You're not here to gain the approval of people who don't understand your value. You're here to live in a way that's true to yourself, to fulfill your purpose, to be the best version of yourself. And sometimes that means letting people misunderstand you, letting them think what they want to think. Silence doesn't mean you're okay with their disrespect. It means you're okay with yourself. It means you're confident enough in who you are that you don't need to defend it to everyone who questions it. When you choose silence, you're making a statement. You're telling the world, I know my worth and I don't need to prove it to anyone. And that's powerful. That's the kind of strength that makes people take notice. It's the kind of strength that commands respect, even if they don't say it out loud. Because deep down, they know that not everyone has the ability to stay calm in the face of disrespect. Not everyone has the discipline to hold back their words, to keep their peace, but you do. And that's what sets you apart. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember the bigger picture. Remember who you are. Remember what you're here for, and let that guide you. Don't let the actions of others pull you off course. Don't let their negativity take up space in your mind. Keep your eyes on your purpose, on what truly matters, and let the rest fall away. Let them talk. Let them throw their stones. You know who you are. You know your worth. And that's all you need. Silence is your strength, your power, your way of staying true to yourself. And in that silence, you find freedom. You find peace, and you find the courage to keep moving forward, no matter what the world throws at you. And let me tell you this, over time, people will come to respect that silence. They'll come to see that you're not someone who can be easily rattled, that you're not someone who will respond to every little slight or insult. People respect composure. They respect someone who can keep their cool. And eventually, those who once disrespected you will come to see that you're not someone to mess with, because they can't shake you, they can't control you. Now, we live in a world that's always trying to provoke us. There are going to be people who test your patience, push your buttons, and see just how far they can go. But when you hold your ground, when you stay steady amidst the chaos, you send a message that resonates far beyond what words can express. You're standing firm in your truth, and that's a powerful stance. You're saying, I know who I am, and your words don't define me. That's strength, my friend. In life, you're going to face all kinds of people. Some will respect you, some will admire you, and yes, some will try to bring you down. You have to understand that this is part of the journey. Disrespect and challenges will come, it's inevitable. But when you stay quiet, when you stay focused, when you don't give them the satisfaction of a reaction, you're letting them know that they don't have any power over you. You're showing them that you're above the noise, above the drama. And that's a message that speaks louder than any words could. The truth is, silence is often misunderstood. People think that silence is a sign of weakness, that if you don't respond, you're somehow conceding defeat. But let me tell you, that's a flawed way of thinking. Sometimes silence is the strongest weapon in your arsenal. It's the calm in the storm, the eye of the hurricane, when you can hold your peace while chaos erupts around you. That's not weakness, that's mastery over yourself. That's being in control, and there's nothing more powerful than that. Think about it. The loudest people in the room aren't always the most respected. Often it's the ones who can sit back, observe, and respond only when necessary who command respect. Those are the ones who are truly in charge of their emotions, and that's what makes them strong. When you engage with every little provocation, you're essentially giving away your power. You're letting them dictate your emotions and your responses, but when you choose to remain silent, you're taking that power back. You're choosing to be the one in control of your narrative, your journey. And that's a place of strength. So next time someone disrespects you, I want you to remember this: you don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to engage with everyone who tries to pull you down. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to stay silent, to hold your peace, and to keep moving forward. Because silence is not weakness, it's wisdom, it's strength. It's the choice to rise above. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people waste their energy on fights that don't matter, on arguments that lead nowhere. They expend so much effort trying to prove a point, to defend their honor, and in the end, what do they get? Exhaustion, frustration, and sometimes even regret. But you have the opportunity to sidestep all that drama. You can choose not to engage in a battle that doesn't need to be fought. You can decide that your energy is far too valuable to waste on someone who's not worth it. Think about the energy it takes to argue, to defend yourself against every slight. It's draining, it's exhausting, and at the end of the day, it often leads to more conflict rather than resolution. But when you choose silence, you're conserving that energy for what truly matters in your life. You're investing in yourself, in your goals, in your peace of mind. And that's a far more productive use of your time and energy. There's also a certain grace that comes with staying silent. It takes a strong person away from a confrontation to rise above petty insults and to keep their dignity intact. It shows maturity, wisdom, and a level of self-awareness that not everyone possesses. It's about knowing when to speak up and when to stay quiet. It's about understanding that your time and energy are limited resources, and you should spend them on things that truly matter. You see, people will remember how you handle disrespect. They'll notice whether you engage in the negativity or whether you choose to remain calm. And over time, that creates a reputation. You become known as someone who doesn't easily get rattled, someone who can stand strong in the face of adversity. That's the kind of reputation you want. That's the kind of respect you want to earn. When you carry yourself with that level of composure, people start to respect you not just for your words, but for your actions. They begin to see that you're someone who values your peace and doesn't let anyone take that away. They recognize that you're above the drama, above the chaos, and that you have your sights set on bigger and better things. And that's a powerful message to send to the world. In the end, your life isn't defined by the people who tried to disrespect you. It's defined by how you responded. It's defined by your character, by your ability to stay true to who you are no matter what. And that's the kind of strength that lasts. That's the kind of strength that can't be shaken. It's about the legacy you leave behind, the impact you have on others. It's about being someone who inspires respect and admiration without even trying. You see, there's a strength in silence that is unmatched. It's a power that only the truly strong possess. It's a testament to your character, to your growth, and to your journey. So remember, the next time you're faced with disrespect, don't feel pressured to respond. Don't feel like you have to engage. Choose silence. Choose to keep moving forward. Choose to rise above the noise and the negativity. Because in doing so, you're not just protecting your peace, you're also paving the way for your future. You're demonstrating the kind of strength that the world desperately needs. And you're living proof that sometimes the most powerful response is the one that doesn't require any words at all. In those moments of silence, you'll find clarity. You'll understand that every challenge you face, every slight that comes your way is an opportunity for growth. You'll learn to navigate the waters of disrespect with grace, and you'll come out stronger on the other side. Because silence isn't just a lack of response, it's an active choice. It's a conscious decision to rise above, to maintain your dignity, and to hold on to your peace. So stand tall, my friend. Embrace your strength. Let your silence be a powerful tool in your arsenal. Let it be a testament to who you are and what you stand for. Remember that you're not defined by the opinions of others, but by the choices you make every single day. And when you choose silence in the face of disrespect, you're choosing to honor yourself, your journey, and the incredible strength that lies within you. That's the kind of strength that lasts, the kind that leaves a lasting impact on those around you. So let them talk. Let them throw their stones. You know who you are, and you're too focused on your journey to let anything pull you off course. That's the essence of true strength, and that's the power of silence. Remember that always.